Hey y'all, I got allergies. I decided I would get on tonight and say hello because I still haven't given you another video. But you know, I'm here and I'm thinking of y'all, and I've been thinking about what what's her name? Sweet Sadie said about one video a week at least. And so if I can't do anything else, I'm gonna at least do a live stream on Sundays. Y'all, listen. These allergies in Austin right now are not a joke. Oh my gosh. Oh, not a joke. So I don't know about you, but listen, Austin isn't playing games, and I'm not here for all the pollen and whatever else is going on in this state messing with me, or this city rather, messing with me. I'm gonna be sniffing. I'm probably sneezing all throughout this live stream, clearing my throat, probably swallowing, which is nasty, but it is what it is. Pray my strength in the Lord, because I start sneezing and I get so hot from the sneezing that I'm like, and I have a glass of cold water here. Hi, Diana. Yay, you got this notification. I'm sorry you missed the other ones. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe with the live stream, it's not as good with notifying people. But y'all, good night, Sherry. Is that good night you're leaving or good night hello? I know that some folks say hello, good night as well. Y'all, so now it's feeling a little bit clearer, but like all like here and here, it's itchy. This is a complainy vlog. We'll try to get it together. But first I need to tell you, and I'm going to keep this to 20 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm going to tell you that now so that I can hold myself accountable. Good night, hello. Okay, hello. But y'all, I mean, Cherry says it's a good night, hello. So hello. Have you ever had allergies? They kind of have your head feeling some kind of way, like you're not fully present. Like I'm just kind of dizzy or just kind of slow and in and out. I haven't taken any medicine for it because I just kind of determined today what it was. When I asked my friends in Austin on Facebook, I was like, is there an allergy thing going on today? Y'all, apparently Austin is notorious for bad allergies, for like really high pollen counts and stuff going on. And I have been here a year and a half, and I was like, I've been good. It hasn't bothered me. And I tend to get allergies, like if there's cats, dogs, mold, mildew, and dust. Those kinds of things tend to get me. But apparently today, the mold count is extremely high. I didn't know because I was like, I don't get the Austin allergies thing. It's a thing. It's like that bad that it's actually a thing here. They were like, if you don't have allergies, you're going to get them when you come to Austin. And I'm like, I don't receive that. This past 3 weeks, I've been sniffing and kind of phlegmy. But today, it's like over the top. The roof of my mouth is itching, and I'm really trying to spare y'all from doing the scratch it with my tongue thing. I had to come and take a nap. That's how it was hitting me. I sat on my patio and was like, I can't be here. I'm having a sneezing fit. So I came in the house, sat on my bed, and was like, now I'm sleepy and I'm going to sleep. And I actually fell asleep for like 15 minutes, y'all. That's how much this had worn me out. So now I'm awake. I've been awake for a little bit, but oh. Anyway, I'm glad to see there's 7 of y'all here. Hi. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're here? Give me a thumbs up, please. You love me? You love my videos? You love my weird voice with allergies? Talk to me, y'all. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me what's going on. Let me show you what I did to my hair. Oh, I flexi rotted it. This is gross, right? Isn't it? I know. Sorry, that was kind of gross. But oh well. I put flexi rods in my hair, y'all. My pillow had fallen, so I had to fix it. This is 2 days old. Hey, my girls, how you doing? I'm complaining because I have allergies, girl. It's terrible, and I'm irritated about it. So I came on to moan and groan. But now I've moved on to my hair. I flexi rotted my hair. And I don't know if I can show you all the pictures, but go to my Instagram, and you will find it. No, I think my Instagram is just Tanya Rogers. And you'll find it. It was 2 days ago, so they're already like, I don't know. I feel like flexi rods never hold super well to me. Hi, Joan. Girl, I'm sorry. Jonani. Hey, Creative Journey. You're in Louisiana. You promise you feel me with the allergies. It's horrible. I'm so frustrated right now. Y'all, I mean, I'm glad I was cute today and stuff. Like, using my necklace. I have on a long black maxi dress with a sweater over it. But, and this necklace that makes me happy and my 100% natural earrings. But I felt like blech for a good chunk of the day. But these Flexi rods, I need to look through my glasses. You can see the spiral of the curls that were separated, but go on my Instagram and you can actually see the process from the beginning. Thank you, Creative Journey. You can see the process from when the Flexi rods are in through when I took them out and the curls were just there to when I separated them to when I fluffed them. I did not record it because it was like 8 o'clock at night. Thank you, my girls. You said my hair is the bomb. I feel like it's starting to fuzz out here and not so fantastic anymore, but it's going to be like this for some days. It was really cute the first night, but I did it like at 9 o'clock at night. I finished at like, I don't know. I finished putting the curlers in at like 10, and I did not vlog that part. And then I just didn't want to set up the camera to vlog the rest of it or to record the rest of it. So I'm sorry I didn't. And them rods hurt, but I will try to do it again sometime so you guys can see it. I have a black backdrop so you can't really see so well. But this is it, and they're kind of cute. You don't have your cell phone so you can't see the video. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you just hearing me by audio? That's weird. Hadassah Harwood says, hi, Tanya. Oh, yes, had allergies some time back. It took years of my pastor praying for my deliverance. Yes, on my father's side, we have Jewish family. I forgot something. Oh, cool. I'm believing for healing because I want a cat. I love cats and I want one. And that's been the major thing I fight with allergies. And it's not usually like this. It's much worse. It's like my eyes run and sometimes I start to wheeze. And that's the most frustrating part. But even the phlegm and the kind of sinus junk, that just really bugs me. So yeah, y'all, I'm annoyed about it. But I'm happy about my hair, but it's starting to get wore out. When you do Flexi rods over a course of a few days, at least in my experience has always been, they start to eventually shrink up. That's cute. They were fatter. They were like this size. And so they've got definitely kind of shrunk and gotten smaller. I was stretching my setting lotion. I used old school, what's that blue setting lotion? What's that called? Anybody remember? What's that stuff called? I can't remember, but y'all remember the old school setting lotion? That's what I used on it. And I like had that much. And it, I have mid back length hair, even though it might not seem like it because my hair shrinks right up, but I have like mid back length hair. And yeah, it was like Lotta Body. That's it, my girl. Yes, Lotta Body. So I used Lotta Body, and you got to kind of dilute it with water. And I had some left over from when my stepmom had let me use hers. So I used the rest of that and put it in there. And this is still like, this is dirty hair. This is from that wash and go that I had. Remember the last couple of videos I've had a puff that was curly. That was my wash and go. And I kind of stretched that and detangled it. Just like lightly detangled it, and then put a cream on it. I can't remember which one it was. Let me go to the bathroom and look. But I spritz it with water because it was dry, and put a moisturizing product on it. And then I put the Lotta Body on it. God, yes, my girls, isn't it? I love this necklace. Yes, my friend in Jerusalem gave this to me. I have a friend in Jerusalem who's from Brazil. And she gave me this necklace before I left. And I wear the heck out of it. I love it. Okay, let me see in my bathroom what this styling product is called. It is Camille Rose Coconut Water Style Setter. That's the styling product that I use. I mean, well, I guess it is a styling product, but it was just a moisturizer that I used. It's a hydrating cream that I put on there because it was dry and I didn't just want to put the Lotta Body straight on there. So I used that. And then I put the Lotta Body on it. And then I put the rollers on it and came out with the curls. And now I'm not exhausted, but I'm a bit tired. My girls asked how Eric and the kids are doing. Thank you, Deirdre. She says, good, or Deidre, is that how you say it? Or Deirdre? She says, good stuff. But it gives you at least a little information, maybe in the information box and in the title. When I upload this video, I might say that I talked about my hair on it. But Eric and the kids are good. They are out in the living room. Eric's folding laundry. I think he might still be folding. Oh, I just got to kind of put some pressure right here. You know when that your sinuses are like twitchy and weird on the inside and they want to itch and they want to make you sneeze, but you don't want to sneeze. And I got you all up in my face. I'm sorry. They're out there. Josh is watching TV and folding his laundry. Eric and I just folded our laundry. Kalani is washing the dishes. The children don't suffer from allergies, creative journeys. They don't. Thankfully, when Josh was little, he did a little bit at first. He was born in the winter and he actually had RSV, but he was a huge baby. He was like 9 pounds, 11 ounces when he was born. And the doctors were like, we don't really worry so much about RSV. In fact, he was late. He was like 4 days late. And he was a big baby. And they were like, our anxiety about it generally is with preemies. But as far as he's concerned, through his early childhood, you may deal with maybe some allergies and maybe kind of asthmatic type symptoms, but that should fade over time. And sure enough, when he was little, we had a nebulizer. When it got cold out, he would have breathing and coughing issues. But as he got older, he grew out of it. And none of them, and he had allergies too when he was little, but he doesn't now. Neither one of them do now. And I thank the Lord for that. It's mommy who's fighting that stuff. But they're out there. Kalani was at a slumber party this weekend, and she's still feeling the effects because she's being a bit oppositional right now. And Eric is not having it, so they're going round for round. And I'm just like, I'm going to be in here. I'm going to let y'all hash that out. I'm not taking anything, my girls. I'm hoping that I can sleep it off, which is ridiculous because you don't sleep off allergies. But I just don't want to take anything. I hate taking allergy medicine because it makes you drowsy. And the ones that don't make you drowsy still, like, I don't want it to keep me awake. I'm just going to try to ride it out tonight. And then I work tomorrow night. And I'm hopefully going to be able to, not have to take anything throughout the day. And then when I get to work, maybe it'll just kind of be mellow. I don't know, but I don't want to take anything. I might partake of some local honey. We do have honey. What I might do is ask Eric to make me a honey lemon, which is so delicious, and get me some local honey in my body to combat the local pollen stuff. But it's mold, so I don't know how that works. They make you feel the same way, so you drink a lot of tea, my girls? Yeah. I have good patience to do all my hair and get my hands so tired. Your hands get tired? My hands do get tired, but when I do Kalani's hair, like I cornrowed her hair and my thumb hurt for like 2 days, so then I couldn't do my hair. But it wasn't so bad. Putting the Flexi rods on didn't hurt my hair so much. My hand so much. Twisting tends to. You see how my hair is going kind of, can you see my texture kind of popping up here? Down here on the, well, no, this is kind of fuzzy too. But some of them are more defined. But what's kind of cool about it is my texture's in there too. And in the roots, it's definitely showing. Because I picked it. I actually used a pick to give it a bit of a lift this morning. So it almost looks like, I don't know, it's almost sort of lockish. It's fun though. I'm not mad at it. I'm going to let this be for a few more days. And then I'm probably going to wash it because it's dirty. Thank you, Deidre. I've been natural for 12 years, since before I had Kalani, and she's 11. She just turned 11. I went natural, let's see, March of 2005 was my last relaxer. Can't believe it's been that long, but yep. March of 2005, and I would never ever go back. I can't even. When I flat iron my hair, I can't really remember how to manage it. I'm like, oh, what do I? Gotta wrap it. That's right. Oh, look, I can't. And I don't comb it. I never use combs on my hair, even when I'm detangling. So when I flat iron it, it's not that all the strands are totally separated. So it just doesn't work well to try to comb it at that stage. I never have super success when I flat iron. And I haven't flat ironed in a long time, but if I ever do anything, I would like, what's it called when you use like a cool setting on the blow dryer and stretch, tension blow dry it. But I haven't done that in a minute either. But there it is. I love my hair. So yeah, let's see. It is a long time. My girls, you don't like honey? No honey, and you don't like, wait, you like this hot tea and lemon. Okay. I like it with honey. Oh my goodness, there's that feeling again. Like it's this side, this sinus in particular. I feel like if I put pressure on it, it won't be so bad. I already feel like pushing it past 20 minutes. Y'all talk me off the cliff. Unless y'all want me to stay on here. Oh, that helped. The stingy feelings going away. Did I ignore your question? I'm sorry, Ali Ahmed. I didn't see your question. Let me scroll back and see. What did you ask me? Oh, it's clicking now on my nose. Oh, there you are. I would like to ask you, and I'm sorry if I interrupt your topic, were your parents agreed to your marriage? And if no, how do you guys convince them, and how long did it take? Our parents were in agreement. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question earlier. Our parents were both fine. They were both sets of parents were extremely supportive. My dad got to know Eric when he moved to Tulsa, where I was living with my dad at the time that we started courting. And my mom was happy with him as well. We met overseas. And then kind of when we came back to the States, we weren't together. Then we got together. We were in different states. And eventually Eric came to moved to Tulsa. And so my dad got to know him. He liked him. My mom got to know him, over the phone. She liked him. His parents got to know me in that way too. And they told him actually from the very beginning, we don't have any problem with the fact that Tanya's black. We want you to know that from the very start. His grandparents on his mom's side had problems with it at first, but they told him, like eventually they both came around. His grandfather came around first, and then his grandmother eventually, through a really amazing story, her heart changed and opened up, and she was fine with our relationship. She ended up passing away before I met her in person and before we got married. My mom was completely fine, open to the relationship. She and her parents and my dad's parents, now that none of them are living, so I think I probably had an easier time of it, because the grandparents, I think, can be more challenging. If there's going to be a challenge, the older generation, sometimes it's the more difficult in some cases. But yeah, our parents were all very open to our relationship. So it didn't take them long at all to accept what we were going to do. It took us long. From the time we met till the time we got married, it was 6 years. But our friendship grew throughout that entire time. Maybe I should do a video on that. I don't think we've ever actually done a relationship video on how we married. We did one about how we met. No, we didn't. We did a husband tag and we did a wife tag, and we talk about both on there. Hi Tanya. Ali, your English isn't bad. I understood. I understood the point of your question. Did I answer your question for you though? And would y'all like me to do a video would you like Eric and I to do a video about our relationship? You love a girl and she's from another country. Your parents don't agree for you to marry her. I'm sorry, and you hope you can. Well, I definitely understand that's tricky, especially when your family doesn't agree. All right, I already know I'm going to go over 20 minutes because I'm just hitting the 19-minute mark, and I want to talk to Ali about this point, and the rest of y'all can hear. There's so many factors that come into play. Some cultures are much more strict about marrying people from other cultures or other races. It's not always other races. Sometimes it's the same race or a different culture, or the same color of skin, because I guess race is really an arbitrary concept, but it's very much a part of our global reality. But culture is much more distinctive. But yeah, Ali, I guess there are different factors that come into play, and I'm sorry that you're having difficulty there. I think if coming from a different culture, sometimes coming from a different religion, that might not be the case with you. I don't know. But those things are so important to people that sometimes it's hard for them to see past that, to see to their child's happiness. You know, they think ultimately they know what would enable their child to be happy. And some cultures are much more involved in the decision-making process to begin with. They are part of the arrangement of the relationship. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, my girls. You said that I speak so wisely and with understanding. Thank you. Some families are naturally more part of the relationship. I know that one of my Palestinian friends, even though she met the man that she married, her family and his family became involved in the conversation once they decided that they, you know, kind of liked each other. As far as I understand, their families were much more involved. And some cultures are that way, and I can imagine it would be much more difficult in that kind of context if you're wanting to be in a relationship with somebody and your family doesn't agree. There's a couple of really special couples that I've seen on YouTube who have dealt with that, interracial couples. Some of them are interreligious, I think, as well. And one of them, the husband, is Indian. No, he's not Indian. I think he's Pakistani. And she's black. She's African. And they are from the UK. And they talk about the difficulties that they had with their families. You know what? I'm playing here. I can't remember if he's Pakistani or Indian, and I'm so sorry. But they talk about the challenges that they face with their families. Hi, Joni. Welcome. Joni, you're in the UK, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm talking about a couple that's in the UK that faced difficulties when their families were resisting their relationship. But they did get married eventually. They were just like, we're in love and we're going to do this. And sometimes you have those cultural clashes when, especially with the son, when he has to make a decision that is hurting his mother because she relies upon him, and he's going to make a decision, you know, to choose another woman. She might perceive it as over her, when that's not where his heart is, but that's how the mom takes it. So, oh, you're not Joni? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know who it was. Somebody I knew was in the UK, but sorry, Joni, it wasn't you. But hi anyway. You're in California, right? Y'all, I can't remember. But I appreciate all y'all watching, even though I can't remember where all of you are. I try to remember though. So Ali, I hope that it works out. And if you want to inbox me, you can. We can continue talking about it. Okay. So Ali says that you're both Arab and speak the same language, but she's Lebanese and you're Jordanian. Okay. But your families are not in support. I'm sorry. North Carolina, Joni. I was going to say Carolina. Hi, Shawan. Is that how you say your name? Hello, welcome. Are you, well, I don't know. You don't need to tell me if you're living in Jordan or if you're living here or what, in the States or what. But man, I am sorry. You're my thoughts and prayers. Sometimes I don't know if you guys are dealing with an interreligious situation or if it's just a matter of her not being Jordanian. But it can be difficult. I'm not even going to lie. And I know it can be particularly difficult because your families often expect a certain degree of loyalty and they perceive it as a lack of loyalty to them if you choose to be with someone else or someone from another country. Or they can choose to see it as a lack of honor or respect, or they can make it difficult for the person if they come to live with you in your country once you marry. But I hope that it works out for you, and I hope that you make the decision that honors you and God. Listen, lifelong decisions like that, you definitely want to think about family, but you also want to think about yourself and the health of your relationships. Are your relationships with your family healthy already, or is there too much control that you're not managing your own life, and so you're having to answer to other people? It's a delicate balance, I definitely understand, but you need to think about your own happiness as well as maintaining peace and health in your family, in your extended family, you know, with your parents. And you're not necessarily going to be, you know, in their home forever, although you'll, I'm sure, stay closely connected unless you were to choose otherwise. But you want peace, but you also want to be happy about your choices and not, you know, regretting them down the road. So I'll pray for you. God give you wisdom to make the right and the wise choice. Yeah, it's not easy. Guys, if you're just joining me, I was talking to Ali, who was asking about whether or not Eric and I faced difficulty with our families and our relationship when we chose to be together. And I was saying that we didn't. I'm sorry. He's saying that he hopes he can be with her one day. They're from two different countries. And his family's not in support of the relationship. That can be hard. When I first came on, and which you can probably tell from the title, when I first came on, I was talking about the ridiculous Austin-induced allergies. I've never been in a situation where I'm picking up allergies in October. I would expect that like in the spring or summer, but not October, y'all. It's October. And it was hot for a while, and then it got cold, and the allergies came when it got cold. And there's mold. I'm like, there could be mold in the air. I didn't think that that was a thing. I thought you can get mold when you had water damage in a house, but I didn't think that there could be just in general mold spores out and about. I'm trying to think of what caused it. If it's because of high humidity after a relatively cool, dry snap. I don't know. But anyway, I'm dealing with it. And so I keep like pressing right here because my sinuses, I can like feel them clicking once I move my fingers. I can feel it going TMI. Sorry. But it just feels just really uncomfortable inside. Like the itchy, I want to sneeze feeling, but it won't let you sneeze. My girl says that's how it happens in Indy, hot and cold, and that is when your allergies give you fits. That must be what it is. You think the couple that I was talking about is India meets Ghana. That is them. So he is Indian. India meets Ghana. And they're in the UK, right, Joni? I think that's them. Their videos are so interesting. They talk about like what the resistance was. You're welcome, Ali. I hope y'all can solve it too. Y'all. This feels so good right now, pushing on my sinus. And since I had Kalani, I have, like my body just did not bounce back in the same way, but I had different things come up. I had a really, really bad infection at the site of my incision. I had a C-section and I had really bad, I think hospital-borne, like pathogen type infection. I was in the hospital for 9 days. I went home after she was born, after like 4 days, and then was back in the hospital by the end of that week, and then I was there for another 9 days, and it was rough. It was rough. And one of the things that I noticed after that was that when I would sneeze or when I would have, the urge to sneeze, it would be super, like almost an over-exaggerated, like stingy, burny feeling in here. It never really went away. So even now when I have to sneeze, it's almost like the nerve endings are super sensitized. And I notice different things like that around my body. Different things just seem to respond differently. So that's one of the weird things that stuck with me. My girls, you said it has been cold, high 40s and low 30s. And then by the end of the week, back up to the 70s. That's exactly how it is here. This morning it was like 35 degrees. And then today while I was out and about, it was in the 70s. And that is the reality right now. For the last few days, it's been that way. Eric is loving it. And I'm like, I hate being cold. I want to pull my tank tops and shorts back out. We turned our heater on for the first time this morning. And y'all, our smoke alarm went off. Because of the dust in the vents and stuff. When it turned on, it was that bad. But yeah, that's how it's been for us these past few days. My class is going very well. My Saturday class is fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. And I met for the first time this term, this past Saturday. And then this past week, the new class that I started teaching during the week, that one was really good. I teach again tomorrow. And I enjoyed it. It was good. I'm looking forward to going back in. I have to go pick up some paperwork and get some stuff going for the class. So, well, not today, but tomorrow. And then I teach in the evening. So it's been going well. We're trying to learn to adjust as a family to that new schedule because I'm gone in the evenings. So Eric has to get dinner and the kids going, and Kalani to her jiu-jitsu lesson. Then he has to cook dinner, and then he has to get the kids situated for bed while I'm at class twice a week. The Saturday class is easy enough because it's Saturday. It's not a problem for us. My girls, you say you don't get cold. You love the cold. Just don't get you wrong. You hate the allergies. I do not love the cold. I like cold and a little bit of snow. I used to love the snow when I was a kid, and now as an adult, I like it okay, but I don't want to be cold. I don't want to layer up. I don't want to be cold. I had on like 2 sweaters today, plus my maxi dress, plus a tank top underneath it, plus a slip, because I do still believe in slips, plus some tights, plus some boots. And then after church, I know people were like, why is she so special? It's 70 degrees. But when I was heading to church, it was like 40. That's a huge transition in a day. You love the fall and winter time? I'm a late fall baby, and I grew up in New York, so I'm definitely used to it. Well, I was used to it, but I prefer warmth. Yes, my girl, slips. People be playing. People play too much. Like, slips are very important pieces of clothing. Hi, America. America KB. Snow only, but beach weather all day. Boom. That's me. Like, let me go to the beach. And Eric and I are literally polar opposites when it comes to that. Literally polar opposites when it comes to that. He hates being hot. I hate being cold. I'm not even receiving that, my girls, about slips being back in the day. I'm just not receiving it. America KB says, you love the cold. Winter is your favorite season. You hope you get more snow in Oklahoma. I couldn't stand winter in Oklahoma. I lived in Oklahoma for 6 years, 1999 through 2005, and it was the worst. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, it does not snow, it ices. And it was so cold and so uncomfortable. I learned to drive in Tulsa, and I cut my teeth on driving in the ice. Child, the Holy Spirit had to keep me safe. One time I was screeching across the ice way back by the river, and the Lord kept me and my friend. In fact, my friend said she saw the angel on the outside of the car. Oh, glory. Y'all, I can't deal with it. I do not have to deal anything from like Texas north. I don't want to deal with it in the winter. Not in this part of the country. I'll be on the East Coast and it's better because you get actual snow. Here in the middle of the country, they be playing games, especially the Oklahoma area. I can't with the ice. I can't. And it's cold. It's like bone cutting through to your bone cold. That bone chilling cold in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we couldn't wear pants. We had to wear dresses where I worked at ORU back in the day. But let's get back to my girls talking about these slips. Honey, we need to reevaluate. Remember that I am 43 years old. I know I don't look it. Maybe. But I am. And I'm gonna wear a slip. I don't want nobody to be able to see through. You know, when I'm in the sunlight, if you can see through my dress, it's not okay. I don't want you seeing the outline of my legs and all my goodness. So no, I'm gonna wear a slip. I don't want my dress clinging to my stockings, which I actually have not worn. I haven't worn a pair of pantyhose in years, but I do have on tights today. And you know, there's such a thing as static cling, and your pants or your dress will cling to your pantyhose or your leggings or your tights, and I don't want that to happen. So no, America KB can't remember the last time you wore a slip. Well, they make a lot of clothes now with lining in them, so you don't have to. And I'll wear, if it has that, I won't wear a slip. But I have a maxi dress on. It's like a cotton maxi dress, so I'm going to wear a slip up under that bad boy. And I don't know, I feel like it's not taught anymore, and the reason for it isn't presented, but I think that they're very important. I think it's a significant reason. Just like I'll wear a cami if I'm wearing something that's low cut, because not that I have tons of cleavage, but what I do have, I don't really feel like is necessary for everybody to see it. So I will wear them. Tanya, you're a little older than me, and I'm so right. I'm just saying, maybe it's a generational thing. Or the girls who grew up in church who maybe are younger than me, but they grew up in that holiness Pentecostal. But no, I'm not holiness Pentecostal any longer, but if my mom wasn't holiness Pentecostal, she'll still wear a slip. Or sometimes she might tease me about it. But y'all, I'm just not trying to have people seeing all my goodies. No sir, no ma'am. Nothing wrong with wearing a slip, Deja says. I should do a video on that. I should. I don't look it. You're older than me and you won't wear a slip. I didn't remember. No, I didn't. But child, you better get a slip on. I was looking up slips on Facebook because I complained. I think I put a post on Facebook about why can't you find slips in the store anymore. I was trying to find a slip for Kalani for church, and no, they're just, she hardly wears dresses anyway, but I could not find them. Hi, Linda. Ladies, modesty is sexy. Yes, it is. I don't find slips to be hot, Sean. I've never found them to be hot in that way. As in hot, like keep the heat too close to your body. I understood what you meant. I don't find them that way. I have a couple of half slips. Okay, first of all my slips are black because I stopped doing the white slip thing when I turned, like, when I got past my teenage years. I can wear them much more easily. Black ones can go with a whole lot more. So I have a full length black slip. I have a like mid thigh black slip. I have a half long full length black slip, and I have several half like mid thigh or mini skirt black slips. Because when you're walking, like if you're at work or if you're in a setting where you're walking, and business places, business establishments, as far as I understand, at least when I was working in education, in higher education, where I'm working now, this isn't required, but when I was teaching, for instance, at ORU, I had to wear stockings. Like they required pantyhose, required. And so and skirts, if you wear a skirt and pantyhose and it's a short skirt, it's going to ride up. It's going to like cling to your legs, and that's not a good look. It's not a good look. So you have a slip so that you have freedom of movement. Not just to like keep people from seeing through, because if it's a like a tweed skirt or a thicker skirt, that's not an issue, you know, seeing through it, but it riding up is an issue. And I also wear them if if I have a thin material that is cool and comfortable, but I don't want it, but it's sheer enough that you can see through it. I just don't want people seeing through my clothes like that. So I'll wear a slip. It's very easy. You know what? I don't like those dresses that are really long and flowy, and then they have a liner that comes up to just above your knees. I just don't think those are cute. I'm like, that ain't cute. Or when they're sheer and it's intentional, they're see-through, and then you can see the other layer that just comes to the knees. I like long flowy things. I like some shorter things too, but I'm like, can the liner match the length of the actual exterior material? Please. Hadassah agrees with me. She says, I agree with you. I can't go anywhere without my petticoat, or slip as you call it. Do you call it a petticoat? I was learning. That's what I was telling y'all. I was looking on Facebook and I learned about the history of the slip, and I didn't know that it came from the petticoat. But I was like, what? That's awesome. That's really interesting. My girls, that's why you won't wear them or stockings. You don't wear slips because when you have thighs, it creates friction. The slips do? I thought the pantyhose might, but I didn't know slips would do that. But yeah, I grew up calling them stockings. Jody says yes to all of them, all of my slips. And y'all, I got to preserve my slips because you cannot find them anymore. Probably if you go like to Burlington, and I am throwing some shade right now, but Burlington's where you find all in black church clothes. You can probably find slips there. Creative Journey says, Granny raised me on slips, but I wear the short slip thingies. So it's like I have shorts on with all dresses. In Louisiana, I'll pass out. But I'm compromising because that's how I was raised. My granny too. It wasn't even a conversation. Like all of us had slips. Y'all got y'all slips? All of us had slips. All of us. All my cousins. I don't know if the ones who are in my age group still wear them. They might not, but I was always probably the one who was more reserved. So I'd be like, when Cammy's first came out with the lacy bit up here that would show, I was like, that's underwear. Why y'all showing your underwear? Like, that ain't cute. That's not a look. I remember being irritated about that whole style trend, like in the early 2000s. I was annoyed. But it is what it is now, a little bit of lace frill. They make them so they don't look like slips anymore. And since slips aren't a thing anymore, it's a bit easier to get away with it, I think. You guys tend to make things rub together. I understand that with stockings, my girls, but I didn't know, because the slip, I didn't think it went in between the legs. I didn't think it would cause rubbing or friction because of that. Hey, James. I'm sorry your phone didn't update you. I was wondering where you were. We've been talking about slips. And ladies, delicate wear, so maybe it was a good thing that you weren't here for this conversation. Creative Journey says Granny is 92 and it can be 150 degrees. And she will say, do you have on stockings? I'm like, love you, Granny. I still hear you because I'm not trying to wear stockings to church, to work, nowhere. I can't remember the last time I bought a pair of stockings. In the church I grew up in, we used to have these conventions and you always had to go buying stockings. And every week for church you had to buy stockings. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do it. I just won't do it anymore. I just won't do it. And now these young whippersnappers, they come in with their 12-inch heels. They don't have to wear stockings. They could just be cute without them stockings on. And I'm here for that. I'm not here for, seeing through your skirt. But I am here for not having to wear those stockings because they're uncomfortable. But I find slips to be very comfortable and to actually allow more movement. My girl says, yes, big thighs tend to make things rub together. I didn't think they still made them. They don't still make slips, I don't think. Y'all are making me chuckle. I've totally broken my rule today. But I feel happy because you're here with me talking. And if I had gotten off at my 20-minute limit, I wouldn't have had y'all around to chat with. So I'm happy to have exceeded my time limit today. And y'all, I haven't had any more sneezies. And the pressure is like lightened up a little bit. Maybe because I'm wearing the glasses and my glasses are pushing on that area. I'll let it happen. I'm okay with that. But yep, I have all black slips. All of my slips that I have are black. What bread has Eric baked lately? My girl says he has not baked any bread lately, but he made this amazing roast in the crock pot. And there's so much food right now. I think sometimes he doesn't think about the fact that he doesn't need to make an additional meal if we still have leftovers. And then some nights I'm cooking because I do cook. I just don't talk a whole lot about it. And I'll be like, we still have enough leftovers. Or we'll have maybe only like 1 or 2 servings. So I'll make something new. But right now we have some pork chops in there that he just made. See, Linda, didn't I tell y'all you can find slips at Burlington? I told y'all. Linda she said she finds slips at Burlington. That's where you would find them because that's where they be trying to sell black folks church clothes. I'm telling y'all. But yes, he fried some pork chops. Actually, he didn't fry them. He pan fried them, but he didn't like fry them. But they were so good. They were those thin cut ones. And 2 nights ago, he made pumpkin bisque. And I am a hardcore sweet potato girl, so I'm not trying to eat pumpkin pie. But I will eat some pumpkin bisque. And so my curls look cute like this. He made pumpkin bisque. He made it from canned pumpkin. It was good, but it wasn't as good as his fresh one. But we bought a pumpkin today, and so I'm anticipating pumpkin seeds and more pumpkin bisque with that. He has some leeks in there that he's going to make a leek bisque with too. I'm looking forward to that. But right now, what we have in the fridge is a leftover pork roast that he crock potted. It is ridiculous. It's probably the best one he's ever made. It's so good. We have some pumpkin bisque in there, and we have some pork chops in there. And he has not baked any bread lately, but those are the things that he has been making, and that's in there. I made some fried chicken, lima beans and okra, and rice the other night. Y'all ain't know I could get down like that, did you? But I can. Thank you, Creative Journey. He says, I told you the curls were on point. Oh, thank you. We have a curl envy. It's funny. Once I got a kind of different angle, they were doing all right. I like that. Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. Do you think he will make a cooking channel and share the love? I don't think he'll make a cooking channel, but I do think he would let me edit lots of cooking videos of him cooking. I still have not edited the video of him making banana bread. And I'm so sorry, my girls. I'm so sorry because I think you in particular requested that, right? The video is there. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get out of your light here. The video is there. It's just not edited. I mean, the footage is there. It's just not edited. I'm sorry. But yeah, he cooks, but I cook too. And he was like, this is so good. My kids try to be funky about okra, and I'm like, you're going to eat this okra. Quit playing. And I told y'all when I went to my aunt's house when my cousin passed away that my aunt made butter beans, and it was actually lima beans and okra. And I need to buy some butter beans so I can do it. Because, you know, the lima beans have a little bit of a bitter flavor to it, but they're still kind of buttery creamy. But the butter beans, y'all, look. My family is country. They from down south. They from the south. So Kalani tries to turn her nose up at okra, and I'm like, you better stop it. Eat this okra. You hate okra, but you wouldn't hate my okra. With the way we make it, it's not excessively slimy. I love it though. I love the sliminess. I'm like, I love it. But it doesn't have to be super slimy. You can cook it where it's not bad. And when you cook it with like beans, you put like some meat in there, like a ham hock or a neck bone or something. And I sweated the okra initially with onions and then put the beans in. And so the slime kind of mixes in and makes more of a juice. And it's almost creamy rather than slimy. Anyway, I like them. Did y'all know that some people use okra gel for their hair? I don't think I'm here for that, but some people do that. James, butter beans, yes, sir. Butter beans are so good. I might have to get some, but I'm not trying to slow cook them. I may have to get the frozen ones. My girl's just telling you it was me, and I need the banana bread for this season. I'll get you. I got you, girl. I got you. I'm going to go ahead and edit it. And you love lima beans with vinegar? Interesting. I don't know how would that taste? Like you cook it with vinegar in them? It is chili season. Eric made chili last week, and it was good. Y'all, Eric, you know, pretty much everything he makes is good. And that's why I gained 10 pounds this summer, because I think my metabolism is slowing down. I don't usually gain weight like that, but I did. In fact, my best friend told me I should go see an endocrinologist because it seemed to happen pretty quickly. And I haven't changed much of anything. So she was like, yeah, see somebody. Might be change of life, but it might be that your hormones are like, yeah, not hormones, but thyroid or just other stuff going on. So I'm going to check it out. But yeah, he hasn't stopped cooking fabulously. So he made some chili. He loves this season because of the things you can cook, but he's also trying to watch what he's eating and watch his weight. So he's like, I can't cook all my stuff. So we're going to have to figure something out. Smaller quantities maybe would be a good idea. Y'all, I want to scratch that. Let me move this so this doesn't serve you. You know when you rub the roof of your mouth with your tongue, that's what I was just doing. So I was trying to move the little mic so you wouldn't have to hear all that noise. Because it's this side that's getting me here through here. But right now it's not bothering me so bad in here, but in my mouth it is. James says this is the first season you can have a Christmas tree. Yay! Good for you. Enjoy it. I love having a Christmas tree. Hi, TB. Haven't seen me in a minute. Nice to see me. You fry the okra. Oh, wait. You fry your okra. Not much for beans, like lima beans and butter beans, though. Put them bad boys with some okra, and they are on point. I'm just telling you. So you pour your vinegar on them when they're done. Okay. I would put hot sauce on them, so I can kind of see a connection there because hot sauce has vinegar in it. Here in Barbados, we do okra all the time. They are good for you. They are. And oh my gosh. Listen, my family on my dad's side, we will fight you over some okra. We will fight. My cousin who passed away, that was one of her things, like her trademark thing with me. With all of us, really. She would come behind us. She was 7 years older than me. So she would come behind and be like, hey, girl, hey, Tanya, you going to eat that okra? You don't want that okra. Girl, you don't want that okra. Let me have that. And then the older ones of us would then do it to the younger ones and be like, girl, you don't want that okra. Give me that okra. We will fight over some okra and some macaroni and cheese. Because my grandparents had a cooking anointing like y'all don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand me. So we all like to eat. And okra, macaroni and cheese, fried chicken, collard greens, with some ham hock and some neck bones. Whew, black eyed peas, all that, all of that. So yeah, so pretty much the favorites are okra and macaroni and cheese. And I don't mind if other people don't like it because I will eat them. I will eat them for you. I will eat them. I will do it with attitude. Yes, I will. What benefit does okra have? Are you pulling my leg? Is it really good for you? Yes, it's good for you. It's a vegetable. Pretty much all vegetables are good for you. But okra has good vitamins. I want to say it has vitamin A. I can't tell you a whole list because I don't know. But yeah, it's very healthy. And we brought it over from Africa to the Americas. And has a lot of, I would imagine it probably has antioxidants. I am totally making that up. I don't know, but I'm assuming. I'm assuming. If anybody knows, tell us. Let's see. James, you love my necklace. Thank you. It is not jade, but it sparked a conversation in Starbucks today because a man there, I want to say he was Native American, but I'm not positive. But he was telling me his mom used to make jewelry with turquoise and silver. So he liked this. I was saying that my friend from Brazil gave this to me before we left Israel. And I think she got it in Israel. I don't think it's stone. It looks like stone, but I don't think it is. But isn't it beautiful? I love this necklace, y'all. Let's see. Linda, you have the same allergy symptoms. You use Allerclear. No drowsiness. Is it something you ingest or do you like spritz it up your nose? I'm not thinking I want to do those. Ooh, now I'm having a little pressure thing here. Because I don't want to put any fluid into my sinuses. And I feel like with neti pots, if that's what those are called, I feel like the fluid will get stuck in there and I don't want to mess with that. I don't know how to clear it out. And my girls, okay, girl, you went way down south with that food list. Yes, I did, honey. Yes, I did. That's what I try to tell people. I might have grown up in Brooklyn, but my family is from so far down south. Y'all, they from down south. My grandparents had their end of life in North Florida, which is where they are from. My grandpa's from South Georgia, but I always knew them to be from North Florida because by the time I came around, he was living in Florida in a town called, well, they were in Hastings. My dad and his siblings were born in a little bitty town called Hastings, Florida. But my grandfather's family is from from South Georgia. Is it Waycross? It's somewhere near the border with Florida. And his extended family, like his siblings and them, they all, or most of them left that area except his sister. Y'all, who I found out married a white man back in the day. I was like, what? Grandpa's sister married a white woman? James, I can't, you just said y'all eat possum and raccoon? You from the country, James. That's country. I've never eaten game like that. Rabbit, deer. I've never eaten coon and possum. Yeah, they left Waycross area. No, Kingsland. That's where they're from. Kingsland, Georgia, not Waycross. Waycross is further north. They left Kingsland, Georgia, and went down to somewhere, Florida. Why do I always forget? It's like I'm drawing a mental blank because I know this town very well. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. If it comes to me, I'll tell you. But it's not too far from Jacksonville. So I have a lot of family in that part of Florida. And you know, South Georgia and North Florida are basically like the same situation. So my granny used to cook. She was a cook in white people's homes. And she's an excellent cook. Her sister's kids and their grandkids, who are my close cousins to this day, they're like, Aunt Maud could cook, Aunt Maud could throw down, and all the Roberts, all her kids and grandkids got it from her. So I actually don't do tons of cooking, but my dad's family, they can throw down, they can throw down, they can throw down, throw down, throw down. And all that stuff I mentioned, greens, ham hocks, neck bones, butter beans with okra, throw some meat up in there. Of course, there's a whole lot of cooking with fat back, mac and cheese. Breakfast is always grits, eggs, and bacon and sausage. some toast, my grandpa's special tea. Whoo, glory, and some coffee. Kalani likes to make herself grits, and Josh likes to make the bacon. They both like to make bacon, but they're not keen on eggs. Hey,
Hey.
Is she still in a mood? I've been telling them that she's in a funky place right now.
She has put her stake down. She's going to die on that sword.
Yeah, I'll pray for you, girl. Kalani
I've
is...
given her every opportunity to humble herself, to...
She's being stubborn. You picking up the belt? You
Yeah, I really, it might,
Let me show y'all.
She's sitting on the bed. I don't be using this for that. That's funny though.
You picked it up. I was like, oh Lord, it has come to that. She is just being really, really stubborn. She's tired because she had the sleepover, but she's decided she's just gonna be.
She won't stop arguing and interjecting and cutting me off. And she's playing this shell game with her reasons.
She needs to go to bed. I honestly think that you should just shut her down and not deal with it and just put her in bed.
Well, I finally did just now.
Don't have any more conversation with her.
With you. If you want to talk to
Parenting,
me,
y'all.
If you want to talk to me graciously and humbly, then I'm happy to have this conversation. But if you're going to keep being sassy and argumentative and prideful,
shut it down.
And sarcastic.
Is she out there right now?
She still is. She can't hear.
Oh.
Then I'm not going to have this conversation.
11 trying to go on 30 today.
It's just better off if I don't talk at all. I'm like, that's called manipulation, and I'm not going to have that conversation.
Somebody just said that is so true, Eric. What is so true? Oh, that what I was saying, don't engage with her. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm on live right now. She's trying it, y'all. And I told them at the beginning, you thought I could edit all that out? No.
Hey, there you go.
There y'all. I told y'all. She's trying him. I told them earlier that she was out there and being difficult with him.
Conversation by giving her a big hug and telling her how much I loved her, that we're all on the same team, and that we want to work this out. She will not let it go.
She's staking her ground right now. So, she said, that's so true, Eric, about being gracious to him. Somebody said she's growing up. Girls tend to do that. Look, she's going to learn today. I just don't think that he needs to deal with it at all because, for one thing, I think that she's definitely overtired. Like, when he fussed at her earlier, I was like, you need to go to your room because, when you're willing to back off of this mountain that you've set up, you can come back out here. She never came back, and they went in there. She was asleep. She fell asleep, and she was asleep for 2 hours. She came out still cranky, still grumpy. And I even talked to her and was like, you're in a bad mood and you need to kind of get your attitude in a better place. You can't you can be disappointed or frustrated about something, but you can't just, you can't try to out-talk every situation. I'm just not I just won't have that conversation with her, and she'll be mad because I'll be like,
Yeah, and that's the thing. You won't listen.
Stop talking.
Is,
you won't listen to me. No, right now I won't listen to you because you're being rude.
You won't let me explain everything away.
Right, that's what she wants to do.
The second part is, if I do let her explain and don't agree with her interpretation, I don't listen to her. Because if I listen to her, I would agree with her.
Y'all hear that?
No.
Somebody said, don't do it, Eric. He's not going to spank her. He's not going to spank her with that belt. I think that somebody said, right, Tanya? Yeah, she's just being stubborn. I'm seriously, because it has to do with her being out of whack. They stayed up till like 1 a.m. They got up at 7:30. The friend gave them coffee, which I'm not mad at her for that. But I know that when kids are in situations like that, they come home crazy, like they lost their mind. And she done lost her mind. So I'm like, she just needs to go to bed. She needs to wash some dishes. Seriously, don't even engage her. Like, finish the dishes and go to bed. Because, y'all, she could put on a pout and I'll be like, who you need to turn right on around and calm yourself down and go in there. Because we want to, like, check this before she hits 13. She's already pushing it now. But, when they get to teenagers, and she's the spicy one. Josh is much milder, and he tries it sometimes. But, y'all, Kalani, that girl got fire. And I'm just like, you got to let him know. No, ma'am. No, sir. You have to put her in check. Yep. You're like me, shut it down. Seriously, she likes to talk you, try to talk around the situation. And kids these days, I think, even with us, and we are fairly strict, but even our kids will try to, they want to explain everything or like logic through everything. And sometimes I'm like, and I learned this in the classroom when my kids were still really little. I was just like, I'm not having a conversation with you right now. I understand that you feel frustrated. You feel like I don't understand fully what's going on. But my decision is this. Later on, when you're calm, you can come back to me and we can talk about it then. But it's not impacting my decision right now. You need to recognize that I'm the person making the decision. We're not peers. I love you deeply, but we're not peers. And I'm not just going to be, you're not always going to get the opportunity to explain everything. You need to trust my judgment. And usually she can back off. But I think her lowered reserves are causing her to go a little bit crazy right now. So she's trying it and she'll figure it out. We love her dearly. The stare girl, the look, ain't that it? The look will bring them down every time. James says, OMG, tell her she needs to go relax her mind. That's what it is. I love her. I love my children, y'all. I love them dearly. And I think I have a pretty good sense of how children work. You know, being a teacher and a teacher, I like listening to kids. I also know that you have to pay attention to the circumstances sometimes. Like the look definitely does work. I think I have more of a look than Eric has. He's not bad. But I'll just be like, and I used the look in my classroom too. It was especially funny, I think, when I was overseas using the look with these European kids and Asian kids and Middle Eastern kids. I'd still be like, what'd I say? What did I tell you to do? And they understood. And I wasn't mean about it. I wasn't mean. But I will, if things keep going, I'll be like, you need to be done. You know, I think that children should be able to express themselves, but there are times when they just can't. And you got to gauge. I already know your reserves are low. I already know you're tired. You know, I get it. I understand. So my grace is extending because of that, but only so far.
Let's go dry.
No. Is it wet? It can lay out. You can lay out on the living room floor. He's doing laundry. I'm so grateful. I feel like whenever I come on here and live stream, it seems like I'm chilling and Erica's doing all this housework or cooking. But I promise you, it's not always like that. But he's doing laundry today because he wanted laundry and I had not done it earlier in the week. Picking up this new class kind of threw me a little bit with my schedule. Usually I do the laundry. Whether they are young parents, when they are young, parents are not their kids' friends. And that is how parents tend to lose control of their kids. Yeah. That's what my girl says. Tanya, I used to look over the top of my glasses at my students and they would get quiet. Yes. I know that look. One of my friends in Jerusalem, she was also on the board at our school and we also went to the same congregation and she was like, one day she was like, Tanya, I've heard that you have a look. I was like, you heard that? Where'd you hear that? And I do. But you know, sometimes you just gotta let folks know I am not, no ma'am, no sir. Y'all know that, that meme. Okay, I don't watch Empire, but what's the lady's name on Empire? There's a meme of her walking in the door with this look like that kind of look. And then it says, I know that's not my class. I just heard down the hall. And that's I think, in fact, I have said that. I have walked into my classroom and been like, I know that wasn't my class. I just heard making all that noise from down the hall. I know that wasn't Miss Tanya's class. Help me understand what just happened. It would be like, But I love my kids, y'all. I loved my kids. I miss them. I miss those students so much. You know, they know there was a little touch of special with Miss Tanya, but they all know I love them deeply. Let me scroll back and see what y'all are saying. You give yours the look too. My girl says the stare and the look. Ain't that it? We'll bring them down every time. James says, amen. You're the parent. Yep. Lord, let me thank you because we need more parents like you. Oh, thank you. These kids are out of control nowadays. You ain't lying. Yes, they are. My girl says, yes, my girls, because they make too much jokes with them. Yeah, we play with our kids and have a good time, but when it's time, who? I'm mom. I'm the mother. I'm mommy. Yes, but all your Christian values are so good for kids. So many kids have broken homes, so that will help a lot. Yeah. I think, though, I grew up with a single mom. My mom just did not play games. And she wasn't harsh, but y'all, she didn't play games. And I think I was already more of a rule keeper anyway. My grandma had this look. My mom had the look. I've got the look. But I wasn't trying to act up because I wasn't trying to get, like, I got spanked back in the day. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I got spanked. And I do not, we did not remove that from our repertoire. I'll just put that way. That was very much a part of our reality. Our kids are at an age now where that's not really so much part of our repertoire, but at this stage in life, but it was. I got all these notifications popping up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move them out of the way. Hadassah says, I don't mind children speaking their mind, but I will not tolerate rudeness. That's the thing. And when I say you don't have an opportunity to speak right now, they need to stop. If they don't stop, I'll just be like, this is your opportunity to be quiet or there will be consequences. You don't get to talk right now because we're not debating. Like it's not, I learned that in the classroom from a parent actually who was like, my child will debate you. He thinks he's a lawyer. So you need to not let him speak. She was like, you need to not let him in the conversation. And I've realized, that's a tactic. People would like to dominate a conversation and that's not the moment. You have to know when to follow instructions. Yes, Tanya, keep them in check. When she gets older, she'll thank you and she'll have self-control, right? And that's my important boundaries, like my girl says. That's my point. Boundaries are for every area of life. And they'll help you when you go out into the real world. Because you see young people these days like interacting with bosses like crazy, saying crazy stuff or having these unbelievable expectations. And I'm like, you thought you were going to just say that to your boss or just like have that attitude or kind of like a pouty, bratty kind of disposition toward a boss. And I'm just like, what are you doing? You can't behave that way. Like you have to have developed self-control to a point that you know how to manage yourself with authority figures, and that starts at home. So you can't pout and pitch a fit and whatnot with parents and get your way and then go to work and do that with a boss because they'll be like, bye. And you can't be passive aggressive at work either. That'll also won't serve you well. So you have to know how to just yield. I'm going to tell y'all some situations where I've had to yield and I knew I was not wrong, but it was not the time or the place for me to be coming out of my face with my boss. I just had to eat it and come back later in a respectful way to address the issue. And young people have to learn that. They have to learn those skills. They don't just happen. So that's my objective. I'm teaching you life skills here, and I think that in this day and age, there's a greater resistance toward authority and authority figures. And it's like, you have to be more straightforward about that, even when you're gracious and even being gentle and loving. Because I'm not over the top, like I'm gonna whoop you for everything. Like we don't live that way, and I actually wasn't raised that way. But my mom didn't spank for every single thing all the time. But if it warranted it, it happened. She didn't tolerate talking back, sucking my teeth, stomping, rolling my eyes. Who? What? None of that. I tried it. And then I learned. So all of those little minor rebellions and ways of like improperly exerting your frustration and expressing it, that's not a healthy way to express your frustration. That's just not how you do it. So who said shut up? No. Nobody was saying shut up. My girl says we couldn't ever say shut up. We couldn't either. And I don't think my mother ever said that to me. She didn't use that term with me, but I did know when I need to close my mouth. So, I'm just kind of like, we have to train kids to know how to manage themselves. And part of that is knowing how to manage your frustration and knowing when you're frustrated and when you think you're right and that the person who's in charge is wrong, still knowing how to handle that. If you're being violated, that's a completely different situation. But it might be that your pride is being hurt at the moment. I mean, I've been like in a group setting mishandled by a boss, but I still knew in that group setting I can't jump to the defensive right now because that's only going to escalate the situation, and I do not have the authority in this situation to escalate it and prevail. I need to wait. I need to use wisdom. I need to come back. I wasn't going to just ignore it because that's also unwise, but I knew I'm going to have to go to this authority figure at another time, and it will likely be uncomfortable, but I'm going to have to address the issue. Not in a place where I will undermine that person's authority or humiliate them, because there's no point in me humiliating them because they've just humiliated me. That's not going to serve any good purpose, and I'm the one who's at a disadvantage in that situation, and I'm probably going to make it worse. So I had to wait. And actually, before I went to the person, they came to me. They came to my classroom and said, I'm sorry, I was stressed out and I was out of line and I shouldn't have said what I said or did what I did. You didn't do anything wrong and I apologize. And I was like, thank you. I did want to say, can you say this in front of everybody that that it happened in front of? But I didn't. I didn't say that. But, that takes character to acknowledge that you're wrong. So I appreciated that, but I also knew you got to know, and you don't just learn that from, oh, I'm an adult now I have to be responsible. You learn that. You have to learn respect in the home, and that's how it is. You got to learn when to be quiet, when to open your mouth, when it's okay, when it's not okay, how to express your frustrations. I'm gonna go back and read these comments because they look good. Y'all having some conversations in here. I want to get in on it. Let's see. My girl said, you are not the one to be fooled with. I really am not. Zamie, is that your name? Hi, Zamie Brown. Yes, Tanya, keep them in check. When she's older, she'll thank you for the self-control. Yep. Boundaries are for every area of life. As a child, the look worked on me. It did for me, too. My grandmother had this look. Oh, my mother kind of would be like, what? But my grandma would go, like she would lean back and her eyes would get really big. My grandmother was Bahamian. She did not play those games. She's Bahamian, but she grew up in Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance, and she had this really kind of very refined lady thing going on. And I don't think my grandmother ever laid a hand on me. All she had to do was look, and I was like, got it. Girl spanked, we got flat out whoopings. I didn't get whoopings. I know people who got whoopings. I got spanked. I got the hand over the lap, bare bottom, with talking. Belt, and I got slapped a few times as a kid. Oof. I didn't get slapped either. I got one backhand to the mouth for talking back. Because I tried to talk back quite a bit. I believe I'm probably reaping what I sowed with that one, honestly. But my mom wasn't a believer in like smacking in the face, and I'm not either. I feel like it's humiliating, but that happened one time, and she, I think, wasn't happy about having done it, and I learned real quick because I either was like, I think I said something and whop, and that was that. I don't think I ever talked back again after that happened, but that wasn't generally something that my mom did. I did get a spanking, and I got a premeditated spanking. It wasn't like, what? I'm mad at you, I'm gonna whoop you, but it wasn't like that. It was, okay, go to your room. And I was in there sitting, waiting. Sometimes it'll happen at bedtime, and like you had the rest of the day to think about that foolishness. And then you got spanked later. Tanya says, my mom was super strict. She was a teacher for 32 years. And why do I still feel 12 years old when she asked me to do something? My girl says, we got whoopings and all kinds of punishments. And we were no worse or where. You know how to respect adults too, right? Authority figures. Girl, we could even say shut up. Creative Journey says, don't forget those breathing attacks that have, I can't stand the deep huff they do. The kids or the adults? Because when the kids are like, that mess, ooh, I will shut that down. I will shut that down. Those kind of displays, I'll be like, what you doing? Stop it. Breathe normal. Stop huffing and puffing at me. You can be mad. This isn't the way to show it. Stop it. Stop all this drama. I would do that in the classroom. Stop all this drama. I know you're upset, but you don't need to do that. You can write down how you're feeling. If you need to walk around outside for a minute, you can do that. You're not going to do all this breathing because you know what this is? This is manipulation. And I'll call it out and tell them, this is manipulation. You're trying to make me feel bad. You're trying to make me feel upset by doing all this heavy breathing and stomping your feet. And I'm not going to feel bad. So you need to stop doing that. If you're upset, you need to find a different way to express it. Do you want me to give you some ideas? That's what I would do. But I work with children who are younger. My children are older now. They're 11 and 13. So I don't always give them ideas anymore. But in the classroom, yep. I'm not for being manipulated emotionally. I'm like, you're not going to manipulate me. Because they need to learn that. Because people, I think, are prone to manipulating other people when we're upset. We want to force them through body language and actions. And I'm like, you need to use your voice. And if you can't use your voice at the moment, you need to find another creative outlet. And stomping and banging and yelling or huffing and puffing, not a healthy response. I mean, I won't say it's not healthy. It's not helpful. Not helpful. Who said yeah, I know you have some Caribbean. I knew you had some Caribbean in you. Hadassah, yes, I do. Tanya, you had some gentle parents. That's hilarious. My father never spanked me ever. My parents were divorced when I was little, though. But I grew up with my mom. My mom did spank me. Her mom spanked her. Her dad's from down south. Her mom was from the Caribbean. And my mom, I got spankings, y'all, but I got spankings. I didn't get whoopings. But my dad's side, they switch you with a switch from a tree. And I did get switched a few times from aunts and uncles and from my granny on my mom's side. Did granny ever switch me? I might have got a pop or two. But y'all, I was a rule keeper. Don't forget. But my family on my dad's side, they would be like, come here. And you'll get tightened up with a switch real quick. So switches hurt. And I saw enough of my cousins get switched that I knew I did not want that happening to me. And the switches would be like stationed around different rooms in the house in certain areas because there were like 40 plus grandkids. We always running around up in there. I still have tons of cousins. So yeah, I wasn't trying to get switched. But as far as in my home where I grew up, my mom she didn't switch, but she would spank. Yes, the children, I asked them, do they need a breathing machine? Like, oh, you need some help? My girl says, Tanya, you are so right. About manipulation? Yeah, the manipulation is something else. Yep. Switches give you nightmares. My girl. Girl. Hi, Carol and Carrie. Yeah, switches. Ooh, them little skinny ones. And when they make you go out and pick them. My dad still tells stories. Yeah, I remember when they used to make us go out and pick our switches. And we try to get them little skinny ones thinking it wouldn't hurt so bad. I'm like, we all know the skinny ones hurt the worst. Oh, y'all, look, I found one I didn't separate. I totally just went off topic. Anyway, yes, they make you go pick them. James said, you got whooped from all your elders. You have autism. So they always thought I was being disrespectful even when you didn't mean to. That's difficult. And I try to find a balance with that because I haven't had him tested, but sometimes, I don't know if Josh might be on the spectrum, but he's so blunt sometimes about things. And I know, and I've had students who are on the spectrum, but sometimes children are saying things and they don't know that the way they're saying something or what they're saying is not respectful. Once you've told them and they have a framework for it, I think in that context, there's room to discipline them with that. But I understand that for some autistic people, those cues aren't there, and recognizing that the way you're speaking right now isn't acceptable is like not necessarily that information isn't going to be readily understood. Like when I said it, I didn't mean it that way. So I can see how that's difficult. I'm sorry, James, that happened. And I think with both of my kids, whether or not it's a matter of being on the spectrum or not, like I've had to try to explain, you can't say things that way. Especially when we moved back to the States with Kalani, I was like, this won't translate well into English. And she was already very spicy from the time she was, before we went to Israel. I always called her my Israeli child. So when we were there, I was like, oh, you're in your element. I don't have to worry about people being offended by how you just spoke to them. But when we came back, I was like, okay, listen, you can't talk to people that way. Let's see. My girl says, yes, we had to pick our switches and your mother would braid. Oh, she would braid them. Oh, I am so sorry. Whew, Lord. Ouch. Creative Journey says, y'all have to watch the switches. My cousin got whooped with the switch, and then his mom had to take him to the emergency room because we found out that he was allergic to the tree. Oh! And then how did she explain that? I was whooping him. That's hard. Zamie Brown says, I love to relate your situation with Kalani about Christ. How we want to fuss and put up a fight, yet Christ still loves us. Her attitude got on your nerves, Tanya, but you still love her. LOL. Exactly. Well, this is so true. We've been giving the Lord so many fits. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. Why are you making me do this? This is so terrible. And he's just like, why don't you go take a nap? We can talk later. Go take a nap. Very rarely do I have to get spanked from the Lord, but I have definitely had my spiritual spankings. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. Not physically, but I had to get set down a peg or two. That spelling was to be yes at the part, not yesterday. I don't understand, Terry. I'm sorry. Explain. Can you type that again? Because I don't understand what you meant there. But y'all, yeah. I guess I haven't heard any fussing, so I'm guessing she must be done with the dishes. I'm about to head to bed. It's her bedtime anyway. And she was supposed to go to bed early. I don't know what's going to happen now because it's late. Tanya says, send me out for a switch and I could pick the smallest one I could find, LOL. But then that just makes them madder. Yes, my girl, his spankings do hurt like heck. Like they hurt your pride. Sometimes they hurt your plans. But they're good. They bring about good fruit. But boy, they're no fun. The Lord is amazing, James. You're right. He kind of works it all together too. And you're like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming. But thank you. Thank you for that spanking, Lord. It sure did make her mad. And once it makes them mad, Tanya, then it gets worse, I think. Then you get even more trouble. I had cousins who would play those games, and I was like, silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. You finna get a beating. Actually, that's what we called it. When I was little, we called it a beating. I'm gonna get a beating for that. And my mom spanked me, so it wasn't like a beat down, but yeah. Then she would send, you said your mom, my girl said my mom would send us back out there and stand there and watch us and make sure we got the longest and the skinny ones. Some skinny ones hurt. I remember them little pop, pop, pop. I'm telling y'all, I only had to get switched like once or twice. Sometimes the children come home and act like the children in the house they just left, trying you. Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I have said stuff like, this ain't TV. And I used to be mad when my mom would say something like that. But I sure haven't like, what you think? This ain't TV. No. And you're acting entitled. And I use words like that. You're behaving like an entitled child. You're acting like you deserve X, Y, or Z. Just because I have so little tolerance for entitled behaviors and complaining and I don't want to do nothing. Tanya says, oh yeah, I was a silly rabbit at times. My girl said, I thought I was the only one who said that. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. I do say it. I do say it. I remember those commercials. Do they still come on? They still sell tricks, right? Good night, James. I think last time you said you got a teaching job. I hope that's going good. It is. It's going really well. I was talking about that earlier. It's going really well. I'm going to need to do some prep for it tomorrow before I go in. But thank you, and good night, James. Creative journey. I like the word entitled. I'm going to use that with my cousins. Ooh, I'm serious. And a lot of young people are. They think that they're just having it so hard because they only get, like Kalani, part of the issue today was she had a couple hours on the computer and then she was acting funky because she had to get off and got irritated because Eric was happy it was his time. He was like, oh yeah, it's my time now. And she got an attitude and then like popped off at the mouth with something and said something sassy. And he was like, first of all, no, that was not my meaning. But second of all, like why are you talking? Why are you complaining right now? Yes, that's exactly what she was playing, Creative Journey. She was playing Minecraft. And then she wanted to come out her face. Hey, Lisa. And, like, no, you don't get to come out your face. Y'all know that expression? You don't get to come out your face and say something crazy. But then it was like, you just been on the computer for 2 hours. This is entitlement. That's exactly what this is. So we'll tend to do things like just take away the privilege because you need to understand this is a privilege. This is not, you don't just get this because you want it. Good night, Cherry. So my girl said my phrase is like, I brought you into the world, I can take you out. I can make another one. Yeah. Just stuff like I don't do well with those attitudes. Like, I shouldn't have to blah, blah, blah. My battery is dying, so I'm going to charge it in. I'm going to want to plug it in so I can charge it. I just made up a phrase there, charge it in. There we go. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know about other countries. I'm going to speak for America, but I feel like American kids are very entitled and have so much and then complain about what they have. Like what they don't get to do with what they have. And I'm just like, you have so much. Don't look funny when I remind you that you need to go wash the dishes. Don't look funny if I say the garbage is full and needs to be taken out. And I'm of the mind that I shouldn't even have to remind you. I guess I'm training my kids into that pattern of paying attention each time. I'm already annoyed that the pattern isn't set yet and they aren't paying attention and seeing the garbage is full and going to take it out. But don't look at me funny if I say turn off the TV and go do that. Like, don't suddenly have an attitude and feel like now it's okay to be combative. Oh. Yeah, so you're right. Me generation. It's very, and the thing is, I feel like we work hard to raise our kids really well, and they still pop off with some of that sometimes. Sometimes. And I'm just like, I love you dearly, but I'm not about to engender this, to like nurture this kind of an attitude. I'm not. Because you know what? It's not going to get you far. And when you leave home, and I feel like we've had so many advantages in some ways, but children of color get out into the real world and they will have a harder time if they present with those kinds of attitudes. Just gonna keep it real. They will have a harder time. And yep, my girls, it's a spirit. You're right. This entitlement attitude, individualism, pride, it's a spirit. And I shut that thing down. I'm like, who are we going to help today? Who are we going to send money to? Who are we going to get out and physically give our time to? I feel like giving time is one of the biggest things that we can teach kids. To have to give up what they want to do with their time to serve others, and not serving others like, oh, poor them. Look at these poor starving children. Let's help them. No, serving people without the attitude that you're having to take care of the less fortunate, but having the attitude that I'm going to give of myself because I can. And it's a good thing to do, to be generous and helpful. And I'm hoping that those kinds of things will teach them to not be self-focused and to not be so, me-centric. One of our homeschooling projects that I'm doing this year is that we're picking 5 projects to do globally giving, either giving our time, giving our money, giving our time so we can raise money so that we can then sow it into an organization that's helping people, but stuff like that. Looking at global issues, looking at things, writing to senators to address things, to look at people in need, and to not to try to combat that kind of entitlement. It's all about me and how I want things kind of attitude. That's me. But anyway, praise the Lord for grace, because today I didn't kill you. That's how I feel about some of today's kids. Yep. So y'all, that's my story. I've been on here an hour and a half. But y'all helped me. I feel good. I feel revived. I'm still sniffly, but I'm happy. And if any of my kids' friends are watching, because I know some of y'all are, y'all already know me, so this is no surprise. I will tell Joshua and Kalani that I was talking about them on here so that they're not like, but they already know everything I'm saying. They heard me say it before. My goal isn't to uncover or shame them at all. But I do have very specific perspectives on how kids should be raised these days. Hi, Ashes to Beautiful. You said, I think we also have to make our children understand that obedience when they are young and honor when they are older will make things go well for them also. Yep. We want to be pleasing before the Lord. Exactly. Yep. It's very important to honor. Honor now, you'll receive honor later. So true. They were fussing at each other, and so I actually had them write these Bible verses last week, and I was fed up. Honestly, actually, I like resorted to this because I was so fed up. But I was just like, this is not an excellent spirit. This stinks right now. Your attitudes stink toward each other right now. So we're gonna find some truth, and we're gonna meditate on that. So I have like 5 verses that I had them write down. I copied them all on a piece of paper, and I was like, these are the verses we're going to be focusing on. And I want you to copy the verse. Let me see if I have a copy of them in here. I want you to copy this verse, and then I want you to write what it means in your relationship with your sibling. Like, how does this pertain to your relationship with your sibling? And they weren't super excited about that, but I was like, you gonna be all right. Here's the paper. I've had the red letter Jesus words. That was just from a direct copy and paste. But Hebrews 12, 9 through 11. Love must be sincere. Detest what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Outdo yourself in honoring one another. Do not let your zeal subside. Keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. And I was connecting how honoring and loving each other and being a blessing to each other is actually part of our, is actually serving the Lord. It's part of our relationship with God. It's how we honor Him. Then I had Galatians 5, 13, and 14. For you, brothers, were called to freedom, but do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh. Rather, serve one another in love. The entire law is fulfilled in a single decree. Love your neighbor as yourself, and that you are your sibling's neighbor. So that's how you need to interact with them. James 3, 13 through 18. Now I know I was going to bring the word today, but now you know. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show it by his good conduct, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast in it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom from above is first of all pure, then peaceable, gentle, accommodating, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Peacemakers who sow in peace reap the fruit of righteousness. Then I chose, thank you, my girl says, go ahead, that's for those two. Philippians 2, verses 3 and 4, do nothing out of selfish ambition or empty pride, but in humility consider others more important than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. That's the big one that I've been pushing. Philippians 2, 3, and 4. That's a big one I've been emphasizing here. And then the last one I have is Colossians 3, 12 through 14. Therefore, act as the elect of God, holy and beloved. Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive any complaint you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which is the bond of perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, for to this you were called as members of one body. And be thankful, because this entitled selfishness comes from not being thankful and grateful. So that's how I'm mommying these days and being homeschool teacher these days. Creative Journey says a church member who had 6 children would have the children who were fighting to hold hands and pray together, and they testified that now as an adult they cannot be separated and are stronger. That's awesome. Wow. Woo, my kids would be hot as fire if I had to do that. But it's good. Lisa says, when I was teaching, I would lay hands on the heads or shoulders of a child behaving badly, and in my mind say, Lord Jesus. A mind prayer for patience and corrected spirit in both of us. I hear you. I walk around my classroom and lay hands on the desks and chairs in prayer, usually before they got there, though. My girl said we need to be reminded of our behavior. It affects all around us and everyone in our lives. Yep. And y'all, I'm an only child. I didn't grow up with siblings, so sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Why is there drama right now? But Erica's like, yeah, this isn't abnormal. So I'm just like, well, we're going to combat this with the word, and we're going to come at this with some scripture. And I'm going to bind this spirit of selfishness and confusion and cast it out of my house, because I have no time or patience for this. Get out! Come up out of here. No, but seriously, I just feel like the word has power, and it's gonna bear fruit, even though initially there might be resistance. You know, they're not gonna fight. They're not gonna be like, I'm not gonna write these Bible verses because that's crazy. So, you know, they might be like annoyed about having to do it. But by later in the week, they were telling me what the passage said and able to tell me in their words what it meant, how they should handle each other based on it. And I really haven't had issues. So since then, when I started making them do it again, they were like, but we haven't been fighting. So why are we? And I was like, because it's the word and you need to be in it. That's why. That's your homework. You need to be dealing with the word. Thank you, Lisa. She says, good talk here. I have a younger brother, Lisa says. He's now 58, and I still have to remind myself on some of those scriptures. Lisa, don't tell me you are over 58. Are you serious? My girl says, scripture takes a sting out of everything that has bite. Yep. It's true. Because sometimes you're like, oh, but it's powerful. The word is, you're 62? Okay now. All right then. My elders on here watching me. I'm honored. But what the word says, 63 in February. Happy upcoming birthday. The word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, able to separate soul from spirit. Whoa, isn't that what it says, soul from spirit? So I'm like, look, the word of God has power. It has power. You're welcome, Lisa. And you start speaking the word over yourself, over your people. You know, people can't fight the word. They can't fight it. So I'm like, you're going to use this word and start declaring it over yourselves and over each other. And they don't have to necessarily know that that's part of my purpose, although they understand enough of that now to see it. But I'm like, declare it. Speak this passage out loud, you know. Because it's the enemy trying to wreak havoc in homes, and I'm not having that. My girl says yes, or Lisa says yes. My girl says Hebrews 4:12 through 17. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, the enemy he wants to take us out. And, you know, and the thing is, we're selfish by nature. We're selfish by nature. So we have to combat that. That doesn't mean we're evil, but we're self-focused individuals, and we have to learn to not be that way. I'm sorry, my headphones are acting weird. Hold on a second. We have to work to, you know, make our wills yield. And with kids, it's a constant, I mean, not just with kids, with adults too, it's a constant battle, but with kids, training them on how to do that is work. And I have to remind myself sometimes they're not being bad. They just got to learn. Yes, the enemy wants to destroy the family. I agree. Creative Journey says. My girl says John 10. Y'all tell me what these passages say. The ones you're quoting, the Hebrews 1. Is it the word of God is living and active? Sharper than any two-edged sword. I was a part of a ministry years ago when I was in Israel. We volunteered on kibbutz. And we also were in a ministry training program for ourselves, a discipleship training program. And one of the things we had to do was memorize Bible verses. And that one stuck with me so much. The Word of God is living and active because there's power in it. And we need to not just apply it like a thing, but really think about what it's saying and how it gives us the power to live. The Word is living. See, yeah, Hebrews 4:12, the Word is living. Yeah, it gives us strength and grace. My girls, what is John 10 that you were quoting there? But yeah, man, I'm telling you. And someone said earlier about the power, about spiritually, the issue in the United States being entitlement. We have that as a stronghold here, entitlement, and we've made an idol out of independence as well. So those things really buck up and they rise up and try to, community. We want community to look like what we want it to look like, but when the sacrifices come in of having to yield our wills and ourselves to one another, we don't want to do that, and that's a national stronghold. It's a stronghold. It's an idol, and we really have to resist that and teach our kids not to be individualistic like that, because this generation will really see the fruit of it, and it's not healthy. That's why we don't know our neighbors. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Well, is it great is he that lives in me? Yep. Okay. Amen, y'all. Look at this. Having some word on here. I like it. I enjoy this. That was some knowledge. We view power as an idol. We really do. That's what Creative Journey just said. We really do. I remember a friend telling me that, I think the first time, maybe not the first time I was overseas, because I went to England to study when I was in college, as far as over the Atlantic. I had been to the Bahamas, but not like to another continent. But when I went to England, I think it might have been then, but it might have been later. I want to say it was when I went to Israel for the first time for graduate school, and one of my friends was French. One of his parents was French. No, both of his parents were Canadian, but he had been a missionary kid in France. And he said, one of his parents, no, I got it all twisted. One parent was American, one was Canadian, but he grew up in Canada and France. And in France, he grew up as a missionary's kid when he was there. And he said something to me, and I remember being offended at the time. But the more I thought about it, I was like, he's right. He talked about independence and about how in America we have this real sense of pride. But it's not just pride, it's like a pridefulness in our independent nature and how we can shift that into an idol. And part of it comes from how our nation was founded in this independent spirit. And I remember being like, that's a good thing. We learned that they broke away from the manipulation and control and dogmatism in the church of England that they were facing, and not being able to worship freely, and then going to people fleeing to Holland and then coming here, and there is good in that, but there is a balance that is totally out of whack, and we exalt independence. We're spreading that globally too. It's Western culture, I think, that tends to be pretty independent. It's not just us. It's not just us spreading it either. It is a Western trait. But the way that we manage it here, it's different. Like, we don't do community well. We don't do community correction well. And Lord knows right now, this political state of America and what the church looks like right now is a massive manifestation of that. This independence and our pride and not listening when community starts sharing with one another and saying, this is hurting me, this is breaking us. Yeah, we don't want to listen, we don't want to hear. And that when I say we, I mean in general. I feel like a lot of Black America is now speaking, and the church in the majority culture in America is by and large not wanting to hear. And a lot of it is wrapped up in our nationalism, our approach to Christianity in this nation, which is intertwined with nationalism and our independence, our individualism, our rights. And it doesn't honor the Lord. It doesn't. And I know I have my elements of it too. I know I do. But it doesn't honor the Lord. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa said you're telling the truth. I could do a whole video about that. I should do a video and then put it on my Facebook page because that's what I'm talking about the most on Facebook. And people be mad at me, y'all. They be mad. I get Hebrew Israelites mad at me on YouTube, and I got my white Christian friends mad at me on Facebook. I love them though, and it's not all my white Christian friends, but some people are just not happy because I'm saying what I believe is happening, and it's not right. My girl says, you're so right. This nation has to get back to the absolute of the Word of God. Please do a video and put it on YouTube as well. I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it. I don't know that my YouTube audiences, but you guys are saying that you'd be interested in it. I don't know if my YouTube audiences in general would be like, what are you talking about these topics for? And I know I would get a whole other set of viewers because of the topic itself who might not all be positive, but don't have to be positive. That's okay. Hey, Vicky, you just saw that I was on. I've been on for 105 minutes. I just gave up with trying to limit it after a certain point, guys, because I got on a roll. Y'all know I like to talk. So I'm talking. But yeah, those are the things that kind of are on my heart and mind. Actually, that's kind of why you haven't seen me editing a whole lot lately. I've been doing a lot with writing and communicating on issues of racial reconciliation and sharing with my white brothers and sisters in the Lord, where growth can and should happen, and that the state of the church right now is a mess. It's messy, and that a lot of Black Christians are in a state of internally that we've gone through quite a state of emotional turmoil over the past year in America, not necessarily everywhere else in the world, but in America, and that there's a crisis that needs to be addressed. And so, yeah, a lot of my mental energy has been going into that, and talking with the leadership at my church about how to get involved in addressing some of these things and stuff like that. Taking on some more things on my plate. But YouTube is an enjoyable outlet for me, in a place where it's like where I can get refreshed. So I need to just go ahead and carve out time for myself to do that thing that I enjoy as well. I really do enjoy talking about and addressing issues of race and reconciliation. I really do. I really, really do. But it's emotionally taxing. If any of you are involved in that or involved in these conversations about race, it's hard. It's hard and it's draining. So when I finally check out from those settings, sometimes I just like chill and don't do anything. But I found that I'm not in those downtimes. I need to find a balance to do things that I like, things that are refreshing. I'll put it that way, because I'm pouring out a lot. Oh, speaking of pouring out, my friend who wrote her book, Dear Martin, y'all, her book is on the New York Times bestseller list. Look at God. Look at God. She is on the New York Times bestsellers list. Do you hear me? She was number 4 a few days ago, and she's still like, is this happening? And her book, Dear Martin, that my last live stream was about. You need to check it out. You need to check it out. It is so good. It's about these issues, these conversations of race and police violence and systemic racism and perceptions that people have of people of color. It's so good. It's so good. Thank you. Y'all saying yes. Praise the Lord. I'm so excited for her. Nick Stone is her name. Check her out. Trust me. If you Google her, you will find her. Trust me. She's going to be here next week. No, in 2 weeks. There's a book fair and she's going to be here. She has been, since her book came out 2 weeks ago, she's been in California, Massachusetts, Georgia, Pennsylvania. She's been all over the place. She's doing a lot of traveling for her book, and I'm so excited because it couldn't happen to a better person. And this is her debut book, y'all. This is not like typical. This is her debut book, and it's up in the top 5 on the New York Times bestseller list. Y'all, do you understand how excited I am? I knew the book was gonna be the bomb. I knew it was. That's what I was trying to tell y'all ahead of time. You better get you this book. I'm telling you, you better get you this book. I'll pass on your congratulations to her. I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited for her. It's called Dear Martin. Dear Martin. Where is it? It's out in the living room, I think. Kalani already read it. She done took the book, read it. Josh was supposed to read it this week. I wanted him to read it first, but he got a hold of that book and was like, okay, I'll get to it. She grabbed it and read it. There's some tearful parts, but they're worth it. And she enjoyed it. Where is it? It's on the bookshelf here. You still picking your teeth? Where's Dear Martin at? It's not on the shelf. Oh, alright, it is on the shelf. This is what it looks like. Dear Martin. And this is what my friend looks like. Oh, that's all her hair, y'all. That's all her hair. That's all her hair. She got a whole lot of hair. Before you ask, yes, she's Black American. She happens to be one of those people that has a bajillion tons of hair. Okay, you just looked her up. It's all over Google. I know, I'm telling you. Who is that? Lisa says you just looked her up and it's all over Google. Yes, it is. I'm telling y'all. The week before, like, I was just like, let's see what's going to happen. And I started trying to talk about it earlier. I just knew it was going to take off. But y'all, once the book came out, that was it. That was it. And I knew that would happen. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. That's my sister. She's one of my 2 best friends. I mean, excluding my husband, who's obviously my number 1 best friend. But I have 2 very dear friends. Calandra, who y'all have seen repeatedly, and then Nick Stone. Well, I'm looking at my hair fluffing. And if you watch this, hey girl, she's probably not watching it because I think my closest friends don't actually watch my videos, which I'm totally okay with. Yeah, she's not gonna watch a 110-minute video. That just won't happen. Neither one of them will, but those are my girls. Those are my aces. So now I'm just chit-chatting. I've been rambling, and I'm still rambling. So I'm probably gonna end this now. And you love my hair, Carolyn? Thank you. I was talking about it earlier. This is my Flexi rod set. That's looking like Sister Locks. I'm loving it too. Let's see, this situation up here though, it did curl at the roots, but I picked it out. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go, and I am going to eat these almonds that I have in here. And what's that on my lip? My lip cut? I think I got loose skin cut or something. It's been nice talking to you too, Tanya. Thank you. You have a wonderful evening too. Don't forget the banana bread recipe, my girl says. I will remember it. Oh, it's 10:30. I was going to say I might get my computer out and edit now, but no, I won't. You went to her website. The FAQs are hilarious. They are hilarious. She's a trip. The way that FAQ reads, that is her personality. She showed it to me when she was first writing it, and I was like, you are so funny. That is exactly what her personality is like. You get Nick when you read that. Lisa says, I'm so happy I stumbled onto your live talk. Me too. Yeah, check her out, y'all. She has one funny thing on there about, I think there's like some math equation on it or something. She's a super nerd. That's another reason we click so well. I was like, girl, I can't figure this out. But she has readers who actually do figure it out. Carolyn, you came late, but you're glad you caught me on. Me too. I just might get my computer out and try to edit a little for y'all tonight. I might do that. We're going to see. So y'all take care. I'm going to eat these here almonds. Got a few almonds here. Get me some health in my life. And if I do edit tonight, you're going to see a video from August. That's what you're going to see. Would you like that? Did I crunch almonds in your ear? Thanks, Vicky. Would y'all like the August footage of the eclipse? Carolyn says yes. Okay. I'm going to do it. All right, guys. Love y'all. Thank you so much for watching, for spending your Sunday nights with me. I love to just chill and hang out and talk with y'all. And that was fun. Thank you. And I'll talk to y'all later. Okay? Bye.